1.
Was a religious order known for their secrecy and was one of the strongest orders of medieval times. The Knights of Templar. The Knights of Templar are a religious order of warrior monks, combining two of the most important things of their age, war and prayer. The order began in approximately 1119 and lasted until 1312. The Knights of Templar were larger and older than the Knights of St. John, the Hospitallers, and the Teutonic Knights, two other classes of warrior monks. They were extremely secretive, having hidden chambers and secret rituals. This was part of the reason they were suspected of sadistic worships. Immediately after the deliverance of Jerusalem, the Crusaders considered their vows fulfilled, returned in a body to their homes. The defense of this precarious conquest, surrounded as it was by Mohammedan neighbors, remained. In 1118, during the reign of Baldwin II, Guise de Penez, a knight of Champagne, and 8 companions bound themselves to the perpetual vow taken in the presence of Patriarch of Jerusalem. To defend the Christian kingdom, Baldwin accepted their services and assigned them a portion of his palace. His poor Knights of Templar. Poor indeed, they were reduced to living on alms, and so, long as there were only 9 of them, they were hardly prepared to render important services unless it was escorting pilgrims on their way to Jerusalem. Shortly after arriving in Jerusalem, the 9 Templars became very secretive. Not leaving their fortress. The question is still unanswered to this day, but many believe they found lost treasures and even lost biblical artifacts, like the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. Others believe they were trying to dig a gate to hell to free Satan from his cage, but this is a little far-fetched, even for a conspiracy theory. After their long disappearance, they traveled back to Europe to found one of the greatest orders of all time. When they returned, they received donations of money, land, and men. They also had rights to cross any border in Europe, an authority bestowed upon them by the Pope. Archaeologists have found tunnels that the Templars dug under their fortress. They stretched down for 50 yards before leveling off. The Templars did not play a huge role in the liberation of Jerusalem as much as they did in holding it. Many believe that the Templars are responsible for the loss of the city to Saladin, a Muslim commander. It may seem like the Templars are warriors, but in reality, only 1 out of every 6 Templar was a warrior. The Templars were the backbone of the Christian army. They specialized in heavy cavalry. One of their vows was that they would not surrender. This came as quite a shock to their opponents, because they would not flee, as previous Crusader armies had. If a line of Templar heavy cavalry was coming your way, you would be stupid not to run for your life. Loss of the Holy Land. The Holy Land was lost in 1887. It was believed that the Templar Grand Master Bernard de Rifthold was responsible by leading the Christian army out of Jerusalem to meet Saladin in the desert. Saladin poisoned all near water holes when he annihilated the Crusader army. He took Bernard captive, releasing him and allowing him to return to Jerusalem. The Templars did not take part in the Crusades after the Holy Land was lost. In 1305, the new Pope Clement V sent letters to both Templar Grand Master Jacques de Molay and Templar Master Floch de Villeret to discuss a possibility of merging the 2 orders. Neither was amenable to the idea, but Pope Clement persisted. And in 1306, he invited both Grand Masters to France to discuss the matter. De Molay arrived first, but Villeret was delayed for several months. While waiting, de Molay and Clement discussed criminal charges that had been made 2 years earlier by an Alps Templar. And were being discussed by Philip IV of France and his ministers. It was generally agreed that the charges were false, but Clement sent the king a written request for assistance in the investigation. According to some historians, King Philip was already deeply in debt to the Templars. Decided to seize upon the rumors for his own purposes. He began pressuring the church to take action against the order as a way of freeing himself from his debts. At dawn on Friday the 13th, October 1307, a date sometimes linked with the origins of Friday the 13th superstition, King Philip IV ordered Desmoulins and scores of French Templars to be simultaneously arrested. Claims were made that during the admission ceremonies, recruits were forced to spit on the cross, deny Christ, and accused of worshiping idols. The Templars' name has the same effect now as it did back then: fear, curiosity, and secrecy.